And there it is. Oh.
Got to get the shoulders in there.
The shoulders. That is crucial. Yeah. I hope you're chair dancing at home, everybody. It's an early Thursday. We apologize, or maybe you're welcome, for this week's Joe and BBD show. I'm Joe Carducci. I'm joined by my friend Majid Patel in Brooklyn Dead Defiant. We are early today because mom duties always come first. We got softball games, baseball practices, school pickups, you name it. And so I will be unavailable later, and I apologize. But we have a lot to get to. First of all, how are you, Brooklyn?
I'm just smashing. Splendid. I'm dead freaking tired. I'm exhausted. Yeah. I'm exhaustificated by the never-ending onslaught of lies from Trump and his regime, and our mainstream media's inability to rise to meet the challenge, just to push back on just the slightest or the biggest, most egregious lies. Like you just told me about he just had a press conference at one of those gaggle things, whatever. And a reporter, I guess he was talking about the Epstein victims, right? And he said that the Epstein victims did not want to go under oath.
Yeah, Sam, do you have that clip? I sent it to you. I'll send it to you again if you need it. Here you go.
To further look into and uncover the truth on the Epstein files, the Epstein saga, do you believe that there should be a public hearing for more of these Epstein survivors?
Well, I'm okay with it. I think we've had a lot of public hearings. I'm okay with it, but I understand that the women didn't want to go under oath. That's what I heard, that the women, the victims or whatever, they refused to go under oath, which was a little surprising. Now, Melania felt strongly about it because she was accused of that I met her through Epstein, but it turned out to be totally false. It was a false.
First of all, fuck you. First, fuck you hard. I know we're supposed to wait till 5 minutes to say fuck you, but I'm sorry.
Drop it.
Could not get to 5 minutes after hearing him say or whatever, victims or whatever. I want to scream. Also, I'm going to call bullshit on what he said about Melania, but also, who says that turned out to be false about something they know to be true? Would you say that turned out to be false if you knew it was false all along, that he didn't meet her through him? That's a weird framing, right? But also, again, back to fuck him.
Trump is a bizarre mixture of dementia and blatant lies, right? And it's hard to it's hard to separate the stuff that he knowingly knows is false from whatever fantasy he's made up in his brain. And there are many. But the whole Melania thing, it came out of left field, but not out of left field, because Melania was trying to do a preemptive strike against a woman from Brazil that she's having a beef with, who threatened to expose the whole shebang. I still have yet to see anything happen from that, but I'm, eager to see, because nobody was even asking you, Melania. No. Nobody was asking. Nobody had a word, despite how many pictures she appears in with Trump and Epstein and what's her face, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yep.
Nobody really, it was surprising. Nobody had anything to say about her. I wish to hell that they would subpoena her the way they subpoenaed Hillary Clinton, who's in exactly 0 pictures with Jeffrey Epstein. So, subpoena her and have her testify under oath.
Well, rear lips to God's ears, but their story, like it is with Iran, keeps moving on this too. Like what she was actually trying to accomplish, that's not what she said. She didn't say that she would like to implore the survivors to come forward and go under oath because they hadn't. She said it was time for Congress to act, which is also hooey because Congress has acted. It's time for the Department of Justice to act and stop redacting and protecting the perpetrators of the crimes. And that's who's turn it is. If you're going to play tag, don't go back to Congress. The survivors have already been in front of Congress, and Donald Trump refuses to meet with them. And the way that he referred to them as the victims or whatever says it just speaks volumes, right? He doesn't
He
care,
has
and we could speculate as to why all day long.
he has not said one kind thing about the survivors. Not one.
Nope.
Not I wish he said I wish her well to
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell,
Mhm.
the only person who's in prison for child sex trafficking. But nothing
Not
like
really a
that.
prison anymore.
Right. Now it's a resort, but
Yeah.
nothing like I hope that that the victims find justice. I feel for them. Nothing. The bare minimum showing of some kind of empathy or he's completely devoid of empathy and humanity.
Yeah, I was on a competitor's podcast yesterday. And
Oh, ooh.
yeah, well,
Was it
not yours.
Midas?
I was on yours earlier. No, 2 days
Oh,
ago. Yesterday. Was it? Yeah, I
wait,
was in.
competitor.
No, I was in a weird. I was on Piers Morgan, and he always sends a recording
Oh.
van, and it looks like you're about to get kidnapped. It's like a snuff film, seriously. But Marjorie Taylor Greene was on before me, which is hilarious that I came on after Marjorie Taylor Greene. And one of the things she said that I found fascinating, was that when he called her to scream at her about her name being on the discharge petition, he
Yeah.
repeatedly said, "You're going to hurt my friends." My friends. And then she said something I had not heard her say before. He said, people that you've met at Mar-a-Lago are going to be hurt by this. She said, I don't know anybody at Mar-a-Lago. I've only been at Mar-a-Lago a few times. I'm not a member at Mar-a-Lago. And she's like, I don't know what he was talking about. But that is very interesting, right? And we've got Pam Bondi getting fired, and then
wait. Pam Bondi, by the way, was supposed to testify, and they exempted her. The DOJ exempted her from responding to the subpoena, which sounds like bullshit to me. I mean, what good is a congressional subpoena if anybody can say, nah, I don't feel like it,
right? I mean, I'm old enough to remember when they wanted Hunter Biden to face charges for doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, if he wasn't trying to obfuscate what is in the Epstein files, what would he be doing differently? Like, what would he be doing differently? Because they've gone to great lengths, including sending Todd Blanche to depose Ghislaine Maxwell. And then on the heels of that deposition, she just miraculously, poof, goes from a regular prison where a sex trafficker would go with a 20-year sentence to a club fed where she has access to the internet and she has a puppy and yoga, and no explanation for that whatsoever. He hasn't mentioned, like you said, the victims, the survivors. He hasn't released the entirety of the files. Every single name is still redacted as far as the perpetrators for the most part. And unlike other countries, we've had no follow-up. We've had no repercussions, no consequences coming from the United States government. What would he be doing differently if he was actually trying to hide what was in those files?
Well, he's the guy with all the power, with all the juice.
Mhm.
Literally, he
Yeah.
is like the fulcrum, I suppose, for the entire the entire structure of the Republican-led government, for the
Mhm.
DOJ, for the Supreme Court, for the House, for the Senate. All of them are waiting to see what he says about something, how he feels about something, and what permission he has granted them to say about something.
Yeah.
So it all hinges on his approval. So if he were to say today, release all of those files, make sure that the victims are protected, but release them all, as any innocent person would do. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's find out what these rich and powerful scumbags were doing. Let's get them arrested. Let's get them prosecuted, etc. But no, he's dithering. What was top priority for him was sending his boy Todd down there to make a sweet deal. I would like to know, if I don't learn anything else for the remainder of the year from this Epstein thing, I want to know who approved that that move, because that move cannot be done. It's not just like a standard thing. You need special permissions
Oh,
from people to facilitate that. So
it was
I
Todd
want to
Blanche.
know who and why.
Todd Blanche.
Why?
Yeah, no, I agree. Todd Blanche said on Meet the Press, or maybe it was CNN, I forget. It was so long ago now. It feels like ancient history. It was probably 2 months ago. It was one of the Saturday or Sunday shows, and Aaron Report clipped it. And I remember, because this is something I've been asking too. And he was asked that question directly, and he said it was my decision. And he said, I
Wow.
moved her because there were threats on her life.
God, bullshit.
Thank you.
Such bullshit.
Thank you. Right? First of
Total
all,
bullshit.
as Tara Mayer will tell you, Siren contributor and also just all around awesome badass
Yeah.
person. She knows a lot about the prison system, and she knows a lot about like how this stuff works. This doesn't happen. You don't just move a 20-year convicted child sex trafficker from a real prison to a club fed. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
That this, like you said, this is not justifiable. They're not even trying to give any reason. They think that this is just another thing that we'll all lose sight of. But again, it's just another piece in this whole puzzle. Guys, 2 + 2 = 4. Like, all of this keeps adding up. Like you said, my God, if somebody accused me of something like that, I'd be like, show them everything. Everything. But that is not what's happening here, and I just, it's disgusting that they keep lying. And I want accountability for the survivors, and it starts with the fucking president, and it starts with the Department of Justice. But we should segue real fast to our headline, because this is a lighter sort of note, and it is levity is
It's
healing.
hilarious.
I can't even believe this is real.
Before, so with Pete Hegseth is in the news today again, because of course he is. But what I had first seen about him was Pete Hegseth doing a whiny thing about, why is the media so mean to President Trump, and blah, 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 but why can't they say nice things about him? And I was completely unaware of the thing that Joe is going to share with you all right now about why he's really trending.
Okay. If you've seen the movie Pulp Fiction, you'll know
20
this
times.
movie. I love this movie so much. Let's just play the clip, Sam.
I regret.
Yes.
Well, there's this passage I got memorized. Sort of fits this occasion. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of camaraderie and duty, shepherd the lost through the valley of darkness. Shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my call sign is Sandy 1, when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Blatant plagiarism. Oh my God.
It's not even a real.
It's not a real Bible verse, is it?
I don't think so. I think he got it from Pulp Fiction. I don't know. I really don't know. I just know, like, sometimes I think we're in a simulation. Sometimes I think, no way could this possibly be real.
Some Bonnie John here says, what the actual fuck, a Melania stunt by Keg's Breath.
I mean, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, we have to laugh. I mean, this infusion of religion that he's doing to our military is first of all terrifying. It should be disqualifying. It should not be happening. Period.
Well, especially since they're spending so much time and effort telling the Pope to shut up and pray, stay in your lane, don't put your religion in our politics. We're the ones who put religion in our politics. Amen. Dumbasses.
Clip that, put that on socials. Oh my God, it's hilarious, right? You're exactly right. Like
Yeah.
Pope, stick to poping. But we're gonna pope too. Like, and why does he always talk like the Lorax? Like he's always talking in riddles. You know what I mean? Is like like he sits like was he finish his bourbon breakfast and sit in front of his little makeup chair in his little studio, and he's like, "What's let me like?" I love a thesaurus, y'all, but I just figured this guy is just sitting there like, "What's another word for?" And then
Yeah.
just goes out there and speaks in riddles. He's such an insufferable douchebag. May you find someone who loves you as much as Pete Hegseth loves the sound of his own fucking voice.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. He's a straight up weirdo. I mean, I personally prefer a Pentagon chief, a Secretary of Defense, not a Secretary of War, Secretary of Defense, who is sane, who's sober, who's actually boring, who's just talking about, keeping our country safe without all that macho, fake machismo, rah, rah, rah nonsense. We don't need that shit. If you're a badass, you don't have to talk about if you're a real badass, excuse me, you don't have to talk about how much of a real badass you are. And people who are badasses, they know that. That's that's 101 of being a badass is you don't talk about being a badass. You just be a badass. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's like Fight Club. Yeah, but it's true, but this is their whole pathology. It's Trump's, it's Hegseth's, etc. Like they think if they scream, respect me, I am almighty, that the people will respect them and see them as almighty. But you're exactly right. Like you don't have anyone who is worthy of respect doesn't have to demand it from you. You give it to them because they've earned it.
Also, to speak a little further to the inexplicable beef between Trump and the Pope, which is 100% being driven by Trump. He said earlier today, and I think yesterday too, he said that the Pope said that Iran should have nukes.
Yep.
And he 100% did not ever in his life, in his papal life, say that. Papal or papal? Anyway, he never said it.
Potato.
Yeah, so he's never said, and the Pope did say, however, he said, woe to those who manipulate religion and the very name of God for their own military, economic, and political gain, dragging that which is sacred into darkness and filth. That's nice. I like it.
That's some grade A trolling right there. That's a subtweet for the centuries.
That's kind of badass.
It's very badass. And I love the Pope. The Pope is dope. I mean,
where's he from?
Chicago. He's from Chicago. Or down by there. It's great. In the front room.
Oh man, I should have let you read that in a Chicago accent.
Whoa, be those. I don't know. I'd end up sounding like I was from Minnesota, I think. But you know what? Like, we don't have it. But Franklin Graham, who millions of, not tens of millions of Christians believe is also genuinely devout. We can have that conversation another day. He had this big post about how he is certain that Donald Trump did not intend to portray himself as Jesus. He is certain that Donald Trump thought that image, and Sam, if you don't have it, I can send it to you because just we can look at it for a quick second. That the image he posted the other day of himself with glowing hands in robes, he thought it was him as a doctor. Franklin Graham vouching for Donald. No one. I have a plastic plant behind me. That plant right there. That plant doesn't have a brain. And that plant knows that Donald Trump did not think he was posting a picture of himself as a doctor. RFK's dead brainworm does not think that was Donald Trump posting a picture of himself as a doctor. And that brainworm is dead and it feasted on RFK's brains. Okay? Yeah, this is Franklin Graham's post. I don't believe President Trump would not only depict himself as Jesus Christ. If this doesn't undercut anybody believing that guy, I don't know what does. But come on.
So there are people, there's quite a few people, there's a growing chorus of people who believe that in actuality, What happened was somebody suggested to Trump that he say, tell them it was doctored. And he misinterpreted that to say, I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. Huh? Just like, Sam, I don't know if you have that JPEG I sent you. It's a meme. It's a very
Grant.
clever
Say hi,
meme.
Grant. Yeah.
No, not
Grant's
that one.
here.
But that's clever though. Yeah. So staff says, tell them they're coming seeking asylum. And instead he says, you're coming from insane asylums. How many times have you heard him say that nonsense? Right?
So many.
Tell him it's a military incursion. He says, it's a great military excursion. Yeah. So he is the dumbest son of a bitch this side of the Mississippi. And that's saying a lot.
Sam, let's put up the original image, which I just sent you, so we can just look at this doctor. And the memes have been hilarious, right? They've literally been. I sent it to you separately, Sam, if you see it. Hilarious, like about how, this is a doctor. Like the picture of Rio de Janeiro with the big statue, and it's like, a giant statue of a doctor. This a doctor. If that's a doctor, then I'm a natural fucking blonde who never fucking swears. Okay, come on. My doctor is awesome. I have never once seen my doctor's hands glowing, and if my doctor's hands did glow, I would probably think he needed a doctor. And why is Jose Andres in there?
Yeah.
And what's floating?
The biblical garb. Insane.
Doctor. And yeah. Hilarious. Right? Like again, we have.
And that's a great show, by the way. If you guys are not watching The Pit, what are you doing with your life? It's such a good show. And it's like every season is one day.
Oh.
Yeah. It's one day in the emergency room. And it is so intense and it's so realistic. My goodness. Literally, I am like grimacing and turning my head during a lot of scenes because the stuff is like, it's gross. It's very realistic when they show the injuries that people come into the emergency room with. And they show a scene with ICE grabbing. This is what got MAGA all in a tizzy about The Pit, was that they showed ICE in a realistic, accurate depiction of them taking a staff member away. I saw Tom Homan complaining, we've never taken hospital staff away. I'd be surprised because you've already taken away U.S. citizens. You've taken away babies. You've taken away children. You've shot people, U.S. citizens on the street. So you're going to take umbrage with some creative licensing in a show? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
$50,000 bribe, jackass.
That's right. Another thing Trump said today in that gaggle was he loves to say, the Pope, if you talk to the Pope about the 42,000 people in Iran that were killed. Yeah, it is horrible how many people they killed. But he did the thing again where he goes, peaceful protesters who weren't even armed were killed. They were executed by their own government. And it's like, yeah, that's happening here, motherfucker. That's happening here. And the last thing I'll say too about this hospital thing, I had lunch with someone who has a family member who works at a hospital in Minneapolis, and that family member said something that I had never considered, that when all of this was happening with ICE, a lot of the people who needed medical treatment, who were afraid of ICE, a lot of people with brown skin, a lot of people who were terrified that they'd be taken, could not go to the hospital, could not go to their doctor's appointments, could not go seek treatment. So they were coming in because ICE would go to sleep. They were coming in the overnight hours for treatment, for help, medical assistance that they needed. They'd come in from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. because they were afraid to go to the doctor. They were afraid that they'd get snatched trying to go to the hospital. Like, we've been living inside of a dystopian novel this whole time. It's terrifying to think there are people in this country, I've talked about this, that aren't going to their kids' soccer games because they're afraid that masculines are going to steal them and abduct them and send them to another country, throw them in a prison cell. It's fucking insane.
Joe, they're showing up at quinceañeras. They're showing up at court, like where at immigration court, where people are following the legal process. You know how MAGA love to say, I don't care as long as you follow the process. And now they're following the process, and ICE doesn't give a damn. They're doing whatever the hell they want to do because they have a quota.
Yeah.
Because a financial amount has been assigned to each person that they detain, whether or not, I believe, whether or not they end up being deported, whether or not they are a violent criminal. In fact, I think the majority of people who have been apprehended, detained, are not violent criminals. They're not even criminals. They don't even have a criminal record. 70% do not have a criminal record.
Yeah, no, it's insane. And Grant Stern says in Florida, CBP has jurisdiction in 90% of the state, which is almost all within 100 miles of the U.S. border. I can read about DeSantis all day long, pudding finger in weirdo.
Look at Grant in here. Hey, Grant.
Yeah, I said you didn't hear me. I said hi to him earlier. Not to mention the state basically imposing a requirement on local police agencies to make I don't know what that is, 287G agreements. But yeah, thank you for your contributions, Grant. Guys, Grant Stern's awesome.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen him in the chat before.
Wait, have you seen Grant, by the way? He goes on Newsmax all the time. And my man looks in the camera and he's like calm as a cucumber while he's twisted. He's turning MAGA inside out. He's giving them fits. And he just calmly just dispels facts that just do away with their myths there.
That's how you got to do it. I apologize because I do have to keep today short because my daughter's school is dismissing right now. And, I am on mom duty. That's just how it goes in my life. I am always on mom duty first and foremost. But you guys can check out BDD's episode last night because we have a supersized edition of BDD's show that I was on last night. So if you want a little supersized, a little more of this action up in here without chair dancing because we didn't have any in that show, where can they go see that, Brooklyn?
Yeah, it's really fun, and it's on this YouTube. It's on the YouTube channel. Just type in the Defiant Weekly. You can type up Brooklyn Dad Defiant. Got my own channel. If you happen to be there and you like the look of her face and the sound of my voice, or vice versa, please hit the like button and subscribe ASAP, and then tell your friends about it and tell their friends about it, and then wake up your neighbors in the middle of the night and tell them.
It's a great idea. Every neighbor loves that. And then go to the Siren Network. We've got merch. We've got this sweet swag. Siren Network, because you can't both sides tyranny.
That's fancy.
Network, where this beautiful podcast is streaming right now.
Does that glow?
No, but it does look like it, doesn't it?
You should make those that glow.
I know.
I bet you that's available.
Green. Sam and I literally spent like months on these colors. Like we really this green makes me.
I like it. It pops, but you should get it, make it so that it glows. Oh, with hot liquid.
You're a genius. My daughter's texting me. I'm a bad mom now. I love you guys. Sorry for short and sorry for the wrong time today. But we will keep you updated on hopefully landing on a real time. And thanks for everybody in the chat. Thank you, Brooklyn.
You are welcome. Always. My pleasure.
Happy Thursday. And we'll see you guys again next week.